Imagine losing the love of your life and then meeting them again years later, only to realize they may never forgive you. That's the heartbreaking dilemma at the heart of Persuasion. 2022, Netflix's bold attempt to modernize Jane Austen's timeless novel. Released on July 15, 2022, this adaptation brings a fresh, unconventional twist to the classic story of love, regret, and second chances. But does it capture the essence of Austen's world, or does it stray too far? So if you're wondering whether this version of Persuasion is worth your time, or if it's a historical drama gone wrong, stay with us till the end. Welcome to Movies Review. If you love in-depth movie breakdowns, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out. Now, let's dive in. Anne Elliot had everything: beauty, intelligence, and a kind heart. But when it came to love, she made a choice that would haunt her for years. As a young woman, Anne fell deeply in love with Captain Frederick Wentworth, a charming and ambitious naval officer. Their love was intense, the kind that makes one dream of forever. But there was a problem. Wentworth lacked wealth and status, two things Anne's aristocratic family valued more than love. Under immense pressure from her snobbish relatives, Anne did the unthinkable. She rejected him. And just like that, the love of her life walked away, leaving her with nothing but regret. Fast forward 8 years, and Anne is no longer the same hopeful young woman. She is now 27, an age considered well past the prime for marriage in her era. Still unmarried, she watches her family's fortunes decline, forcing them to rent out their grand estate. By a twist of fate, the new tenants happen to be the relatives of none other than Captain Wentworth, who has returned successful and wealthy but still nursing the wounds of the past. What follows is an emotionally charged reunion filled with longing, unspoken words, and the pain of what could have been. Anne still loves him, but does he still love her? Or worse, has he moved on? As they navigate social gatherings and unexpected encounters, the tension between them is palpable. Every glance, every polite exchange carries the weight of years of heartbreak. Will Anne get a second chance at love, or has she lost him forever? This question drives the heart of Persuasion and keeps viewers emotionally invested until the very last scene. Jane Austen's Persuasion is a novel deeply rooted in its time, filled with quiet longing, social constraints, and the agony of unspoken emotions. But Netflix's 2022 adaptation takes a bold approach, attempting to bridge the gap between the 19th century and today's audiences. The result, a film that feels like a historical drama but speaks like a 21st century rom-com. One of the most talked about elements of this adaptation is its use of fourth wall breaking, where Anne frequently turns to the camera and speaks directly to the audience. This technique, made famous by shows like Fleabag, aims to create a more personal connection between the protagonist and the viewer. Instead of leaving Anne's thoughts to be understood through subtle glances and expressions, she spells them out in witty, often sarcastic monologues. It's a bold choice, one that has divided audiences. Some love the added humor and accessibility, while others feel it robs the story of its depth and emotional restraint. Another major departure from the original is the film's use of modernized dialogue. Traditional Austen adaptations maintain the elegance and formality of the period's language, but Persuasion takes a different route. Instead of poetic declarations of love, we get lines like, "Now we're worse than exes, we're friends." While this contemporary tone may make the film more relatable to modern audiences, it also risks alienating Austen purists who cherish the novel's original charm. Overall, this adaptation walks a fine line between reinvention and deviation. Whether it succeeds depends entirely on how willing viewers are to embrace a Persuasion that doesn't strictly follow the rules of its Regency-era world. A movie's success often rests on the shoulders of its lead, and in Persuasion, Dakota Johnson takes on the challenging role of Anne Elliot. Known for her subtle yet expressive performances, Johnson brings a more modern, playful energy to the character. She captures Anne's melancholy well, but also adds a touch of dry humour that sets this version apart from previous adaptations. While some fans appreciate her fresh take, others argue that her portrayal lacks the deep emotional restraint that defines Anne in the novel. Cosmo Jarvis steps into the role of Captain Wentworth, a character meant to embody both heartbreak and resilience. His performance, however, has received mixed reactions. While he certainly looks the part of a brooding, heartbroken hero, some critics feel his delivery is too stiff, making it hard to feel the passion between him and Anne. In a story driven by intense emotions, chemistry is key, and unfortunately, their dynamic doesn't always sizzle on screen. On the other hand, Henry Golding's portrayal of Mr. Elliot, the charming but scheming cousin, has been widely praised. Golding brings effortless charisma to the role, making him an unexpectedly entertaining antagonist. While Mr. Elliot is traditionally more subtle in his manipulation, this version leans into his villainous charm, making him a scene stealer whenever he appears. Overall, the cast delivers performances that range from engaging to underwhelming, leaving audiences divided on whether this Persuasion truly captures the heart of Austen's beloved characters. If there's one thing Persuasion undeniably excels at, it's visual beauty. The film is a feast for the eyes, capturing the stunning landscapes of England with breathtaking cinematography. From rolling green hills to candlelit ballrooms, every frame is carefully crafted to transport viewers to the Regency era. The film's use of natural lighting adds a dreamy, almost ethereal quality to the scenes, enhancing the story's romantic atmosphere. Close-up shots of Anne's longing expressions and Wentworth's guarded glances further emphasize the emotional weight of their interactions. Costume design is another highlight, though it leans more toward a stylized interpretation of the period rather than strict historical accuracy. While Anne's wardrobe reflects her understated personality, some outfits, particularly those of the supporting cast, have a more modern flair that subtly signals the film's departure from traditional adaptations. Despite these strengths, some critics argue that the film's glossy aesthetic feels at odds with the raw emotional depth of Persuasion. While previous adaptations embraced a more muted, restrained approach, this version prioritizes visual appeal, sometimes at the expense of authenticity. Persuasion, 2022, sparked heated debates upon its release. While some viewers appreciated its modernized approach, many critics felt it missed the essence of Austen's novel. The most common criticism: the film's tone. Traditional Austen stories thrive on subtlety and restraint, but this adaptation opts for a more overtly comedic and casual style, which some argue diminishes the novel's emotional impact. Reviewers also took issue with the contemporary dialogue, feeling it clashed with the historical setting. However, not all feedback was negative. Many praised Dakota Johnson's charm and Henry Golding's standout performance. Additionally, the film's cinematography and aesthetics received high marks for their beauty and elegance. Ultimately, Persuasion is a divisive adaptation, one that some will enjoy for its fresh perspective, while others will see it as an unnecessary departure from a beloved classic. Persuasion, 2022, is a film that dares to reimagine a literary classic. While its modernized elements make it accessible to new audiences, they also make it a controversial adaptation for Austen purists. The performances, cinematography, and aesthetic beauty are definite highlights, but the unconventional approach to storytelling may not appeal to everyone. If you're looking for a light, visually stunning romance with a contemporary feel, this version might be worth watching. However, if you prefer a more faithful adaptation of Austen's work, you may find yourself longing for the older versions. What do you think about Persuasion, 2022? Did you love it, or did it miss the mark? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth movie reviews. Thanks for watching. For